Hello and a cyber welcome to The Hill is Always Greener, a show where 4 online friends have internet chats about Sonic the Hedgehog to distract themselves from the inevitable passage of time spent on the computer and their own rapidly waning ability to relate to the youth, most of which are on their lightning boxes playing video games. Hi, I'm Valero, your podcast assistant. It looks like you're trying to get to the actual episode. Do you want me to move on to the next host?
I'm Rock the Jake, and I'm afraid of technology, so I'm poking it with the stick.
Hey kid, I'm a Cyberlink. Stop all the downloading. Help Cyberlink.
And I'm Game Buddy, and I can only communicate with you between the brief windows of when you shut the computer off.
That works.
The brief windows of Windows 11.
The brief windows. The like, what was the ones?
Like NT.
Yeah, NT.
Yeah.
Remember Vista?
I
No.
don't want to, but it haunts me to this day.
Anyway, thank you for joining us on the podcast. That was our way of saying we're talking about cyber-related things on our...
I'm always talking about cyber-related things.
Oh, that's true. Huh. But not that kind of cyber-related things. Oh no, you cheeky devils. No, we're talking about things like Sonic the Hedgehog, but specifically... Okay, we're talking about the third novel in the Martin Adams quadrilogy of UK Sonic books. That's right, we ain't done with those books yet. There's at least another one after this one. But for the time being, we are talking about Sonic the Hedgehog and the Silicon Warriors.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
So, yeah.
I understand that joke.
I want to say I immediately appreciate you saying silicon, because these days I just keep hearing silicon, and I'm like, I don't like the sound of it, and I feel like it's wrong.
Silicon? Is that what some people say now? I don't know.
Some people do pronounce it that way.
Silicon, 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 and silicone.
Oh
What? The silicone's something different.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay.
Yeah, silicon is like when people say nuclear, like nuclear. To me, that's just it.
Bushism, yeah.
Well, silicone is what happened to Sonic's chest in the IDW comics, and they compare it to Rouge's chest.
I know, I really tattled on myself thinking of, and I think about silicone things a lot.
Tits. Right,
Yeah, those two.
You find a lot of those on the computer.
Well, you can for the time being anyway, but we're not focusing on the current issues
Life
on
finds
the
a way.
internet. We are
find a way.
dealing with the internet of the 90s and the computer. But it was mostly computers. It's computer stuff. This whole book is all computers and video games. That's the whole thing. If you liked that stuff back then, I didn't even have a computer back then. I had this book though, but I didn't read it because, as I think I mentioned in a previous episode, novels were hard and scary. I just skimmed the bits. It wasn't like the Sonic Adventure game books where I'd be like, hey, I can jump to another page, I'm being invested. Because this one, well, we'll get to it, but what do we think about this one, lads?
Well, if there was ever a Sonic novel where just flipping around reading the good bits was probably still get you most of the story, it might be Sonic the Hedgehog and the Silicon Warriors. I thought this one was fine. Like, I really did. Every time I ran up against something, I was like, well, that's silly, or boy, this is just going in a circle. I did try and put myself in the mindset of like, but if I was 9, this would be cracking me up. So I can't say it was inappropriate or like, any worse than like, I still think this one was probably better than Robotnik's Laboratory.
I mean, you can sum up this book in one sentence. Did anybody see the movie Tron?
Yes. Wait, no.
God, I wonder if people listening to the podcast did see the movie Tron. I feel like I saw it a very long time ago. It's relevant, like we're joking, but it is kind of relevant. I feel like that's probably one of the things the writer checked.
This book very much reads like James Wallace of Sonic and Fourth Dimension fame really, really liked the movie Tron.
Maybe so.
Tron and contemporary video games of the time.
Very much so, yay. So, we did mention, yes, this is James Wallace again. This is his his second book in the series, because as we know, Martin Adams is three guys in a trench coat, as Jake so eloquently put it.
I love saying it.
But this was James Wallace, the creator of Fourth Dimension, as we said. And this guy has self-admittedly loves him some video games, actually played the Sonic games. I think he said he bought a Mega Drive and put it down as a business expense because it's very important towards writing these books. And you can tell this was apparently released 18th of November 1993. At least that's what the Sonic fandom wiki tells me. And they're probably right. I don't know. Either way, it's the third book in the series, and and also Mark Gascoigne is probably there. In fact, I'm fairly certain he's there. If you're reading this book,
there are some definite Gascoigneisms all over this book.
As we mentioned previously, if you weren't there for us for the previous ones, you should. Those are good episodes where we discuss these in great detail, so you don't have to read the books yourself, even though some of them you probably should. Mark Gascoigne was the overall editor of all these books. Mostly was handling consistency of the plot, and was there on punch-up duty, adding funny little jokes. And oh boy, I can't say for sure if these weren't all James Wallace, but I feel like Mark Gascoigne was just like, nah, mate, you need another joke here. You need another silly joke. And there's plenty of that throughout.
One in particular definitely gives off that energy to me. We'll bring it up when it comes up.
Now we've gotten that out of the way, this Virgin Books. I keep forgetting, if I really want to get into the nitty-gritty, it's a Virgin Books Sonic the Hedgehog, but you all know that by now. I bloody hope you know who made this by now. Either way, it's a Sonic book. I've got a physical copy here again. It's got the funny little animation where Sonic doing a little spin attack and balancing. It's really great little book.
Yay.
Lovely little book to hold in my hands like I did a long time ago, except for this time I've actually read it. I like having these. I like that these exist. I don't know if we would get Sonic novels these days, and maybe this was one of the ones where I'm realising why we don't, but we'll get into it. Let's crack open the books, everyone, if you're ready to talk about this.
Yeah, closest thing we've got was those, although now those were both several years ago, but the little storybooks with the Patrick Spaziente illustrations in the one. Which are very intentionally game universe adjacent. There's Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Shadow, but I don't think they've done more of those, unless you want to count the movie novelizations. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are true. Those are the closest thing these days.
It's a very different industry. Let's say that.
Yeah. I think it's a cool thing. I mean, to have, it seems like it's a good balance between you have something for little kids that are just graduating to, quote unquote, big kid books. No, not a lot of pictures in these.
Yeah, give a hoot, read a book.
Yes. Earn a free personal pizza and go to the Scholastic Book Fair. That's got to be an exclusively American thing.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. No, we had book fairs, but we didn't get pizzas for reading them. That would be great. Oh, but then I'm thinking about holding my book and having a pizza at the same time, and it'll ruin the book.
I can do that now because I'm an adult and I can order pizza whenever I want.
I used to read a book.
I should have ordered myself a pizza while reading this, and then it would have been a nice little reward.
And plus, if you need to take a break from reading, you could just use the slice of pizza as a bookmark.
Peel off a pepperoni.
Michelangelo-ass move right there.
I gotta say, this book does open pretty bombastically with Dr. Robotnik getting kicked in the chest by Ken Masters.
Yeah,
I mean, more specifically, cool. It begins with, "It was a dark and stormy night."
Yeah, once you get past the initial, because once again, every time you've got to do the Sonic story so far, where they just tell us everything that happens in the Sonic Bible, essentially, because that is the holy text. We get to the prologue, which they call Enter, because computers,
video games.
Yeah, video games.
Welcome to the fantasy zone.
Video James Wallace.
Yeah, it's that's very good. That's very much, Robotnik's in the rain and he's looking really mad and silly and he's laughing a lot. And then he summons a computerized, let's be honest, it is Ken Masters, like you said, from the Street Fighter, from Streets. He's right there and I think I'm pretty sure he's doing a Shoryuken, actually, if I'm looking at it right.
I think that they intentionally, he does a dragon kick and then a...
Oh, right. Maybe my brain was just filling in the blanks there, and I'm like... Well,
yeah, I think they are intentionally going out of the way to, like...
I did notice he says dragon kick. I think he says dragon punch. I'm like, hey, I know what that would be in Japanese, though. I did want to point out, I thought it was funny. There are a couple instances of this that I noticed, and I mean, it is another one of those things like, hey, people writing in the 90s, they would just bust out their encyclopedia if they needed a wacky reference. Dr. Robotnik refers to himself as an arenacophobe, which is not a word, because if you search it, it comes right back to this book, but then as Cyberlink pointed out, it's probably referring to the species, a hedgehog. A hedgehog, that is the classification. So he's scared of hedgehogs. But he's saying it proudly, like, I don't know, man. Come on, doctor.
It's just a play on arachnophobia, I suppose.
I know.
That's about it. Silhouetted against a streak of lightning, the red cloud in this. He ran towards the fat figure of the scientist, and one powerful fist blazed out through the sheets of rain, aiming deftly towards Robotnik's undefended chin. So I think it might be a Shoryuken by another name. But they do mention the dragon kick as well. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. It doesn't matter because he dies. No, he just deletes him. And he vanishes.
Summons up the power of the God Hand.
And Eliza is a widow going for... No, it's not real. None of this is real, actually, if you get down to it, but they're video games within video games here, so...
we will get into the meta-ness of it all, I'm sure.
Right. There are 10 full chapters here, and they go quite long, but we start off with Chapter 1, A Shock to the System. And,
we're finally reading about Static Shock?
Yay!
God, can you imagine? Yeah, that's a new episode on our Static Shock podcast that we've had going for the past... No, we can't do that. It's not even podcast yet.
The static is always shocking.
Static Shock is awesome. I remember.
Yeah.
That's a Dwayne McDuffie joint.
So it does start off in a very similar manner to like the previous books where it's just, Sonic and Tails having a race. But it even lists, all the zones that he rushes through, but it's...
Yeah, I thought this was pretty cute.
Yeah.
To have him literally running around like the zones from Sonic 1 and 2, like, they're having a race, but this is also specifically they are looking for Robotnik's wherever his secret base is, where must be planning his new horrible scheme. But I thought it was pretty cute. Again, like if I was a young kid who'd played the games, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, they really did their homework with this one."
I did notice that Spring Yard has been replaced with Scrap Metal Zone, but I was
going to say, I was thinking like first I was like, my brain was like, "Do you mean Scrap Brain?" But then they describe it as an industrial nightmare, the bare metalwork of the Skyrise complex, and
then they mentioned Scrap Brain later.
Yeah, so I'm assuming Spring Yard.
Yeah, maybe they tore down the hostile architecture, turning it into scrap metal. Or maybe they just goofed it up. Oh, well.
As they're going through and everything, this first chapter, I feel like just really, in my opinion, I feel like it sets things up for the rest of the book really well as far as the concept and also just the descriptive language that's used throughout. I mean, later on, the descriptive language is, takes its toll, pads a lot. but in this first chapter, I was able to very easily like picture things and imagine it, and so I got to give credit where it's due that it paints a really good mental picture.
It does also like take its time to kind of dwell on the crashed remains of the Wing Fortress zone, which is going to be very important throughout the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's the whole thing is very Scrapnik Island in that way that I like.
Yeah.
I know it's still this specifically. I think I said this about the other two books. There are moments where I'm like, this would be a great exchange, like, between Sonic OVA, Sonic and Tails, like hopping around ruins. And I just, for some reason, that sticks in my mind that there are, despite it being like, oh, well, it's going off the Sonic Bible, and the dialogue might be a little out of whack compared to even like the Sonic OVA, but it gets the Sonic and Tails dynamic. I still really like it.
I also just really like the idea of the Wing Fortress being in a big crushed heap on the ground. That's a fun image, kind of a spooky image to me. There's the idea of that.
Yeah.
And of course it would be. Like, it wouldn't be floating around in the sky anymore like it was in Sonic the Comic for some reason. It was still going.
Or in Robotnik's lab.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was still. Well, I suppose they had a reason for it still going in that one, but yeah, fair enough. Also, they briefly mention the Aqua Lake Zone, so Jessamem is like hooting and hollering right now. I'm surprised that maybe they just looked at I don't know, one of the many walkthrough guides you could find back then of the Sonic 2 on the Master System. I don't know. Well, hey, they clearly know what a Game Gear is in this.
Yes, I was about to say, not to jump all the way to the end, but Tails got sucked into a computer monitor. They did this in, what was it, Robotnik's lab, and I can't remember if it was in Fourth Dimension, but I mean, these are, like the Bible, these are the item terminals from the game, except given a different purpose. They were put there by Kintober and then Robotnik.
Yeah, like the whole thing is very Robotnik's lab in that, Sonic's doing his thing and then suddenly all of his friends are missing for no, adequately explored reason. Yeah. And, that's also where we get the Tails introduction, and I am very, very sick of this gag already, and it's only been one page.
Oh, who was it? Porker lent Tails a dictionary of outdated slang just for funsies, and Tails now is trying to incorporate that into his everyday lexicon.
Another reason to have a lifelong grudge against Porker Lewis. That horrible
Fang is feeling more and more correct every day.
Where did he first mention that he's got that book? Because I think he starts saying some stuff.
I'm seeing like odds bodkins. I suspect foul play. Elementary inspector. Oh, it's a lot immediately.
I think it's on page the 14 spread. He says, well, you know how you've been saying I should read more books like dictionaries so I'd learn more? Well, I did. I borrowed a book from Porker Lewis. It's really good. It's called A Dictionary of Out-of-Date Slang. And Sonic says, oh, great. We've only just started on this adventure and I have no idea what I'm meant to be doing yet. And I've got a sidekick who's going to be talking Martian at me for the whole rest of the book.
What book? Tails asked.
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot that you actually says that. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a thing going forward, is them acknowledging that this is a book. Something that I don't think they did in Fourth Dimension.
No, it's only so, sorry, jumping ahead again, near the end where they come across a digitized Green Hill Zone. A character, I think it's either Iggy or Tails, says something like, "Wow, who would want to play a video game about us?" And Sonic looks to the imaginary camera to the reader and goes, if they only knew, reader.
Hey, readers, which is like the most like British comics thing to say.
There is a lot of that in this book.
Yes. I mean, I think it does overstay its welcome. I feel like it's harder and weirder to do in a book. Like a comic book, you can literally have a character just address the, looking at the reader. But this is a little like, okay.
Yeah, like
we get it.
The note that I wrote down about just all the fourth wall breaks, that just so I can go ahead and get out of the way, is that they're kind of annoying to me just because they don't really do anything with them except for poke that they know that they're in a book, and they don't really do anything with that as far as like a story-wise thing, which, I mean, maybe they could pull that off somehow with the whole like getting in a computer, and I don't know. But like I realize it's a kid's book. They can do that. It's fine. But like as an adult reading this, I'm like, they don't do anything with it other than being like, we're in a book. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. and that's
It
it.
just kind of takes me out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
They weren't doing this before, and I know Mark Gas. I don't think it's a James Wallace thing. Like, I don't know James Wallace other than that interview.
All I know is that he did not put any of these in fourth dimension.
No, exactly.
Right.
They're too busy having a really great adventure in fourth dimension.
Like, maybe it was such a good adventure they thought this one was too dry, so it was just like, oh, got to add all the funny jokes. Waka waka.
No, Waka Waka comes later.
I would have felt better if instead he referenced like the fourth dimension, which I know is hard because they were probably all written in a very short time and whatnot. But still, if he said like, geez, Tails, this is more annoying than when we saw the birth of the universe.
Yeah, but then he's referencing old things that Sonic did, and Sonic fans hate that, so we can't do that.
Right, yes.
Anyway,
man.
No, I agree. We should have more fourth dimension and less fourth wall, yeah.
Well, we keep saying that Martin Adams is just three people in a trench coat. Maybe the third person is Ian Flynn.
Oh, no.
I think he was 12 years old.
Got started early and ruining the franchise.
But yes, this is where Sonic and Tails come across a computer, and it ends up. Like I said, it's very Tron. Like, they describe the digitization effect almost exactly.
Oh no, Tails, don't walk on the keyboard. Oh no, that's Freakazoid.
Followed by delete.
How very, very sad.
I love that.
That's us reading this book. Sonic the Hedgehog, Tails is sucked into the computer like many of us have been, apart from Jake. So it's that pretty much just leads us into the second chapter, Mega-Hurtz, spelled like hurts, like hurts,
like
don't
ouchie.
it? Yeah,
birds
like
Hurts
like a
bone
bird.
it.
And Tails is inside the machine, and I can understand him saying this, but Tails does say, "Oh, I wish Sonic was here," which is like the klaxon call of Tails in Sonic the Comic, if you've read those, in his standalone strips, is "I wish Sonic was here." And to be fair, you would, but it's funny to me that's just what.
Yes, but it's also like very funny in retrospect that Tails is talking about how he doesn't know anything about computers. Like, it does.
Right,
Yeah.
okay,
It does
that's-
make
yes.
you wonder how different the book would be if modern Tails wound up in there.
He'd be fine, probably. Actually, I don't know, because it's kind of scary in there. It's not like he's just literally handling code. He's entered a world that is the computer, with lots of computer stuff in it, but it is very dangerous. And I don't know, so he'd do better in there, I think, than the idiot child that Tails is in this book. But
I haven't reread it in a while, but didn't IDW literally kind of do this with Eggman's Pocket Dimension, where
That's
it's
true.
Sonic, Amy, Tails, and I want to say Belle?
Yes.
And I think Tails is the one, like, Sonic is the one who's helping Sonic and Amy, the ones like fighting off the digital creations, where Tails is like, I gotta, figure out what we're doing here. So yeah, they kind of did. I feel like you could have still made this work, even if you had a more on the Japanese side, like computer guy Tails. I mean, then you just don't have Iggy. You just have Tails do all the stuff Iggy does, and Sonic's still there to be like, well, we got to fight these monsters or badniks and whatnot.
I do think it's very funny that Sonic's typing is terrible because he's standing 2 meters away and trying to type with a tree branch because he doesn't want to get sucked in.
Just in case
he has to
doesn't want
write
to get sucked
backwards as
in the
well, so Tails
computer.
can read it, because it's the opposite side of the screen. So it makes it even worse.
It's just a terminal prompt, I guess, and Tails is looking from the inside out.
Oh, he's using Linux.
I will say that there is a lot of computer terminology in this book that I don't know how many kids back in the 90s would have been aware of. Like, this was a year before Reboot, when I feel like was a big cultural shift in terms of, media portraying, computer technology and everything. But it's
there's some pretty clever stuff near the end chapters too.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how many 6-year-olds would know what a WYSIWYG is.
Yeah. The one that stuck out to me was, and it didn't even dawn on me till like the later chapters, but they're literally trying to ride a go-to prompt
Yeah.
to get to the CPU.
This is also where Sonic mistyping trying to turn the lights on for Tails does get us, computer activate light switch gets mistyped as computer activate slight witch.
So a small witch appears, a slight witch. It's stupid. I can't not find that funny. So Tails exclaims, "Lorks a mercy!" Slang, my dude.
I mean, I'm sorry, it's extra confusing for the rest of us because not only is it outdated slang, I'm assuming it's outdated English slang as well.
Well, some of these are like ones that even you would recognize, Far Out and whatnot, the stuff of the 70s, but Lorks a mercy.
Yeah, it's not contemporary like tubular.
I'd always think of that Adventures of Sonic episode. I think that's where I learned that expression. I was like, I don't know what this means. And I'm
Your
like,
pronunciation of that when you were describing Tails going tubular, I tried to emulate that for the Sonic and Sydney thing. Totally tubular. Right again, the knuckles.
Robotnik's fat.
A lot of that in this book too.
is.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it was that.
It as was the style at the time.
At least Robotnik is literally like a cartoon egg man bouncing around, getting punched and kicked and laughing, and that's a new one as well. He's not just hovering around in his Eggomatic, although he does that too.
I forget where exactly it is in chapter 2, but there's a line in here that I just had to write down because it says, like a herd of burping hippos playing tennis in a swamp. I'm like, what?
Shut up. Shut up.
It paints.
That's a strong visual image, right there.
It's a strong one, and yet I still don't understand it.
But yes, this is, where things start to, again, very Tron, kind of turning into, portraying the inside of the computer as this big, digital maze that Tails has to navigate around. And also while being pursued by a giant digital buzz bomber. Because he's you have no business in the video card road program. Return to your designated task area or you will be relocated to a secure memory cache and held there. They're laying it on thick.
Well, I don't mind all that. I don't mind the computery language of it. It gives it a bit of flavor.
Yeah.
It's just, for some reason, I do have, even though I've seen Tron, I'm one of the people who did, I do sometimes have trouble visualizing some of this stuff because the descriptions get a bit, I don't know, heavy. There's a lot of trying to you're literally trying to navigate this yourself by working out what it is. They are describing some abstract concepts here.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of back in school when I tried reading the book 80 Days Around the World, and I couldn't even get past the first few pages because it was too descriptive and it just meandered
I know
so
exactly
much.
what you mean.
Yeah, and I love descriptive language in novels and books, but I think there's also a case for going too far and just kind of you know what, it's weighing down the reader's mind because you're providing too much information. You need to pull back just a little bit.
That's always been a thing for me since I was younger. I'm just I can't progress here because I'm having trouble working out what you're trying to describe to me here.
Yeah.
There's so much. I want to get on with the story. Okay, I get it. He's round and green, and the green shimmers like emeralds in the sky. Oh wait, that's Sonic.
No, I feel like culture as a whole agrees that the Lord of the Rings and all that are modern masterpieces, but that is the number one complaint of Tolkien is he describes everything in excruciating detail, and then 100 pages later it'll reference a character and you're like, wait, who the hell is that? I don't remember them.
So yeah, Tails ends up jumping between different parts of the computer pretty quickly and, expanded memory, back into the video card. He sees signs for keyboard buffer, database, games directory, simulator, printer port, WYSIWYG output device, device drivers, programming language, memory cache, CPU. It's They kind
again.
of go like I say, they go deep, and I think that it could be a lot for younger readers, especially ones who are not intimately familiar with, computer terminology.
I feel like James Wallace really loves that stuff by the sound of it, by just looking at all this.
I mean, I was the person who knew the most about our family computer at the time, but I didn't know any of the real names for it.
Right.
It's like, no, you go to the control panel and put on the pipe screensaver. It's fun.
Yeah, so Tails eventually finds the WYSIWYG output device developed by Dr. Robotnik to create real versions of images and devices designed inside the Electronic Graphics Creation Computer System, or EGCS for short circuit. Wrong. Try again. Now spell artichoke. Inker.
Lord. Oh, man, I do. Sorry. I mean, keep jumping ahead, but I love how Robotnik's vibe coding is exposed at the end, where you even have computer programming. So, like, he can't code his way out of a wet paper bag. He just stole everything that put this together.
Decades before vibe coding became a thing.
So Robotnik finds out that Tails is inside his computer and announces he will be derezzed again. I'm telling you. So it's basically, becomes very clear that this WYSIWYG output device is going to be what ultimately gets them out. So, but Tails is interrupted and seemingly disappears before Sonic can get any more answers. So that's where we move into Chapter 3, Building Big Brother.
Big Brother. What year was this? Oh, 1993. Never mind, it's fine.
This is also where we get introduced to the other major character of this book.
Ichneumon.
Ichneumon. Well, they don't call them that anyway. The character is Iggy for the rest of this book, because
yes,
that's a choice of a name. So what? You actually discovered what that actually means before, Jeremy. I didn't know.
Well, here's the thing. She's described as a mouse.
Right.
Yes. But an Ichneumon, as Luke pointed out, and then I discovered an Ichneumonidae, is respectively some type of weasel.
An Egyptian mongoose.
Yes, and a family of parasitoid wasps. I just don't get it, because even looking, the Egyptian mongoose also had what is it? It was, the enemy of the dragon in medieval literature, and it covered itself in mud and, closed up so it could sneak up on the dragon. But then I'm like, that doesn't have anything to do with the story. Also, yeah, she's a mouse, which... Okay, am I the only stupid one that just got this? Is that she's a mouse who's very computer literate, making her
Oh my gosh.
computer mouse.
Oh my goodness. Good lord. Okay, fair enough. They need the mouse to operate the computer, so there we are. Anyway, she's a small... Sorry, that's not why I was like, the mouse, because I was just thinking... They acknowledge that she's a mouse, or white mouse from Mystic Cave Zone, which is like, that's an acknowledgement of the little Mickey animals from Sonic 2 that come out of Badniks and the Egg Prison. We're proving that James Wallace has played the games. But yeah, I guess that's why he chose a mouse. That's probably it.
Dang it, Martin Adams, you got us.
Yeah, Sonic's always liked the Mystic Cave Zone. It's a very cool place with the most excellent background music.
Okay, so that's a meta
See,
joke.
that's pretty good. That's a better joke.
I do wonder. I like to imagine that the music plays diegetically, like you're there, and I was like, oh shit, that's cool.
Just added some outdoor speakers at the Rainforest Cafe. We didn't actually explain what a WYSIWYG is, and I mean, I might have learned those in college.
It's an abbreviation for what you see is what you get. It's basically, like a visual... It's basically like a visual interface so that when you are, editing things, you can see the changes as they happen without having to like know the code that you need to program. So
yes, which is what Sonic is attempting to do when he's asking the computer to turn on the lights.
Yeah.
But it also what the machine that will help them get out of the computer is called. It's very clever. I didn't realize that was how you said it until just now, and I'm like, oh, okay, yes, that is a thing. So yes, another very for its time deep cut computer programming language reference, but very
Speaking of references, unfortunately, we get the first of many Ren and Stimpy references in this book.
yeah, there's a lot of those.
And to be fair, at the time, Ren and Stimpy was a cool new thing. It was on BBC Two. We played it at night over here because it was a bit too rude for the kids for a while. We didn't know all of that stuff.
I mean, just to say, like, this is not like letting anyone off the hook, but I mean, we definitely know now. John Kay, fuck him into the dirt. He was not the force that made those cartoons good.
Yeah.
I think, what was his name? Bob Clampett and all the other people who like actually did their fucking work. So I've got nothing against, referencing Ren and Stimpy. And I hope anybody that doesn't know knows now that John Kay is a horrible bastard of a person and is basically not why that was good, because everything he's done after Ren and Stimpy,
sucks.
including a certain era of Ren and Stimpy.
Yes, it sucked and is terrible. Like, he's just not. That's not his talent on display. But anyway,
All this to say, Iggy says how happy, joy. And to be fair, memorable episode of the show where that happened. So
yeah, same. Sonic drops another one. They're literally looking for the logs, as in a log of a computer.
Yeah.
And Sonic goes, "Yeah, everyone wants a log." Like, shut up, Sonic.
One detail that they do kind of bring up every once in a while is that Iggy is actually a huge fan of Tails. Apparently, the president of his fan
is
club.
very cute.
A member of his fan club.
I've got no problems with Iggy. Like I said, if you wanted to make this into a modern Sonic story, you would just have Tails do everything she does. But no, the fact that she is a cute little mouse with, big pink ears, and it's also, president, is she president?
I think
She's
just
a
a
big member of Tails' official fan club. And
it's very cute. Because they describe her as coming up to Tails' leg. So I imagine her being smaller than Tails and this little mouse. That's great. And she's the one handling all the computer stuff. So I imagine she just gets up right up on the keyboard.
Yeah, was it Sonic 2? Sonic 3 Knuckles? There are, little animal friends that pop out
Sonic
of
2,
capsules. There are mice. So I assume she was like that. Like, she is like Porker Lewis sized.
Yeah. She's a little creature.
But not Porker Lewis size. That's a different thing.
Isn't it funny that those were at least retroactively called Mickeys because they're mice?
I wasn't going to say anything.
I forget all the other ones have their pluralized names.
Yeah.
Flickies and Rickies and our boy Cucky. There's only one Cucky to us. Oh, boy.
By the way, a slightly more sophisticated reference we get here is a reference to a mouse. The famous poem where she says, what was he say again? The best laid schemes of mice and hedgehogs gang after glay, which is like the original way of saying that, except for they added hedgehogs in. And I thought that was nice, and I just took some time I never really understand where that came from. I know that A Mice and Men is based on that expression, at least the title. And it's just finding out that apparently the poet accidentally broke a mouse's nest and felt really bad about it, so he wrote a poem right then and there. It's just so that's kind of nice.
Nice.
I didn't know that, and now I'm viewing that expression in a much different light. That's cool. Thank you for that bit of trivia.
That's what you've got to learn something in these books other than stuff about computers, I suppose.
Yep. So Sonic and Iggy end up going to the wreckage of Wing Fortress, where they suspect that Robotnik is hiding out and get attacked by Burrow bots.
Yeah, and Iggy gets trapped inside one of them, right? And that just makes me think of those STC stories that we covered when Chris McFeely was on.
Yeah.
The little animals get sucked, tentacled into the robots, and it's gross and weird.
Oh, yeah, my favorite little just scribbly dog in that short. I love those guys. Yeah, a lot of burrowbots and grounders, and play a pretty big role in these badnik attacks in this book.
That's grounders, specifically the badniks from Aquatic Ruin Zone.
Yeah.
I know for a fact James Wallace was not watching the cartoons, that's fine. So he just thought grounders look cool.
Well, I was going to say, the cartoons would have only just started like 2 months before this book came out.
Yeah, true.
Oh, wow.
Yes, this is where they find the Big Brother WYSIWYG output device WOD890 for use with networks, batteries not included, this side up, use no hooks, do not drop, fold, spindle, mutilate, or broil, for external use only, keep away from children, pets, magnets, or direct sunlight under 3 years old, do not operate while the train is standing in the station, just so you know, investments can go down as well as up. Mark Gascoigne clearly wrote most of this section.
It feels like it, but that's silly fun. And calling it Big Brother isn't just like a 1984 thing. It is actually specifically referring to Brother Industries, who made all those computer printers and other hardware at the time. I think we had like a Brother printer at one point. Yeah.
The last piece of crap printer I had before they all break, because they're all made bad on purpose. I think it was a Brother. Now it's an HP, which might as well stand for hot piss, because that's about how good it is for printing.
Anyway, unfortunately, this WYSIWYG device is in pieces and they have to assemble it. And it's only after they finish they realize, oh, hey, it needs to be plugged in.
A commonly missed detail of these machines. To be fair, they live in Green Hills. No, they've got Game Gear there, so they've got to have machines there. No excuses, you filthy animals. Before they get to that, this is just another one of those little cultural references that'll go over your guys' heads, but there's a monitor that's got like a test card with Robotnik sitting by a blackboard playing noughts and crosses with one of his Motorbug robots. It's a reference to Test Card F from the BBC, if you've ever seen it. It's like a thing that would show when the TV was, when the channels weren't running. It's just us being like, hey, remember this, kids? But like, it's gonna go completely over you guys' head because it's just us. Let me just find the image right here. It's a small girl and a clown.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the only... we had test cards over here. Yeah. I think I was just young enough to see one of the last sign-offs. We either did it's an American flag, with the national anthem, and the guy goes, and this concludes on broadcast day.
Yeah.
And then the other famous test card is an image of like a Native American man in a headdress. Yeah. So probably hard to describe that in a children's book without... we get a little problematic near the end of this one discussing video game characters' ethnicities, but it was the 90s.
It's the 90s, baby.
Oh, Lord.
So they do get it plugged in, but surprise, surprise, that was Robotnik's plan all along, to get them to do the work for him.
Ah, dang it.
Ah, jeez.
They left Sonic the Hedgehog to build his computer for him. Didn't even make him a cup of tea, just attacks him with a grounder.
I was going to say, is this the part where they stab through his spikes?
That's where they start drilling. They start drilling through at the end of this chapter. Like that's an unsettling thing to imagine. It's quite harrowing to imagine his spikes are getting drilled through. I was like, oh yeah, if Grounder locked in, he could ruin Sonic.
Stand back, Scratch. I got this.
It's like a saw trap too, because he's drilling through what would essentially be Sonic's hair, trying to get to the back of his skull.
Sonic, I want to play a game.
Yeah, exactly.
And those holes he drills are going to come up later.
I know, that's the worst part, because I even tried to... He talks about, oh man, you drilled holes through my spikes. And I'm like, my brain is trying to put together, it's like, but Sonic spikes aren't like one big flat... Oh wait, yes they were back in the 90s. We didn't have the, even the modern games give him that like quill texture, and Movie Sonic does it well, where it's like, well, they're all just, shaped like hair into 3 spikes, but they're actually individual quills. No, this is like a big, like Tom and Jerry Swiss cheese piece that is now Sonic's spikes. And yes, the holes come back in a later chapter. It's gross.
It was a side effect of the Cobalt effect turning Sonic into the transformation.
Yep.
happened.
Right.
You got solid spikes that you can drill through if you so choose. And
Sure.
Grounder so chooses.
Meanwhile, back with Tails.
Oh yeah, so we're on chapter 4, User-Unfriendly. Back in the computer.
This is the first one to where I slap my forehead like, I can't even be mad. Tails is running through this place in the computer he's not supposed to be, where blocky shapes start dropping on him, and
Yeah, coming out of a giant flying communist fortress. CCCP, which I forget what that actually stands for.
The Communal Collective of Computer Programs.
Of course that's what it is.
Although,
I thought you meant the Soviet Union.
well, that's the thing. Like, the
That's
actual
basically-
Cyrillic characters are supposed to be
Yes.
saying SSSR, but they look like CCCP.
Yeah, but no, it's literally, halt, Comrade Fox. You are treacherous lick-spittle capitalist running dog computer virus, declared enemy of the CCCP.
Your computer? No, our computer.
Yeah.
In Soviet computer, virus blocks you.
My favorite joke from Austin Powers is they're waking him up from being frozen. He's like, the Cold War is over. It's like, oh great, I bet we really stuck it to those capitalist pigs, didn't we, comrade? Austin, we won. Oh, well, yay, capitalism. It's my favorite bit.
Yes, Tails is dodging this, flying St. Peter's Basilica fortress.
And it's dropping blocks, and it's Russian, and you all know what it is.
It's the Tetris theme literally in the back of my head.
I like this bit where Tails has to build a bridge, so he insults the fortress into dropping more blocks. You vacuum tube! You low-resolution 1K valve-driven punch card programmed obsolete piece of junk! You CPM-based alpha test pile of useless bug-filled programs! You nasty black and white 2-bit console!
And also, you suck.
Oh man, that's another one that made me slap my forehead, but then I'm like, oh well, later they find out that the system Robotnik's been working with is only 8-bit, and Sonic says something like, he couldn't even shell out for a system with more than 8 bits. Right, kids? Wink. Knowing that the Mega Drive with its powerful 16-bit processor.
Blast processing.
Hey, we didn't have that over here.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And neither did you guys, actually. It was made up.
So this is also the point where the fortress drops a giant black ball that just starts following Tails around. I'm led to believe that this is like the marble from Marble Madness.
I was thinking that. Like, they don't state it out loud, but that would be that time period, wouldn't it?
I thought for a second it was supposed to be Pac-Man, but it doesn't do
Pac-Man
anything
comes later.
Pac-Man like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Like, the fact that I believe it cracks apart later is what specifically makes me think Marble Madness, because that is a thing that happens when you drop too far.
Would I have put that together as a child? Probably not. I don't think I had that game, but...
Even, it could have just been the time I had trying to finish this book, but a lot of these did just straight up fly over my head till the very end.
That's
So
understandable.
I'm prepared to ask a lot of goofy questions as we're going through this.
Everyone gets Tetris, right? Like, we all had us a Tetris in some form or another.
Yep.
That was one of the Game Boy games I owned.
What's Tetris?
It's columns, but better.
Okay.
It's the other half of that Puyo game.
Yeah, there you go.
I keep forgetting that Tails has like been grabbing like little black boxes out. I think he got one out of the Slight Witch that gives him the power to do things.
Yeah,
That's the
like
idea.
basically like security clearance.
I'm gonna say he can finally find out what happened to all those planes that went over the Bermuda Triangle.
This is also where we get our first case of Tails riding a go-to button.
And that's pretty much how he gets to the memory cache, which is where all of his friends have been held prisoner, including Joe Sushi, who he's the first character he meets is everyone's favorite, Joe Sushi, the walrus.
The little walrus. The little goofy walrus. Yeah, that was another one. I think it's implied. Is every person on Mobius trapped in this computer, or is it just like
most of the residents? Yeah,
I think.
Okay.
I think at one point one of the characters says that there's only possibly like 8 people from Mobius who are not in the computer.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I do remember that now. And I do think it's funny that, they have Sonic's friend Sally's there, Joe Sushi, Chirps, Flicky. But anytime they need and then another big group of people came and they just say, what part of Johnny Lightfoot's relations? Because they're rabbits. There's a lot of them. I thought it was pretty funny.
I'm looking at the page now, and it's actually Joe himself who says that about 8 people from the whole of Mobius who aren't here. Yeah.
Okay, so Joe's on the ball. Good for him. He's been paying attention.
So Tails manages to destroy the giant marble and take everybody with the go-to command back to the WYSIWYG. He describes how the invisible thing carried them forward onto the plateau and suddenly vanished, leaving them stranded in front of the eyeball output device or whatever it was. Whatever it was massive, at least 200 meters tall, or would be if I was my normal height, thought Tails. Inside the computer, I'm probably 5 electrons high or 2 pixels tall. Still, it's a very big eyeball.
You'll have to forgive us for breezing over a lot of this, because a lot of this just drags. I hate to say it, there's just a lot of description, a lot of faffing about. There's a bit where Tails just starts swearing in the old slang, basically. He's like, bejabers, radishes, rats, Gordon Bennett. It's just... God, that's so specifically British.
I mean, we kind of said it at the beginning, but it's a funny little story. It is what if Sonic, did Tron and Robotnik was there? But there's just so much, the video game parts of it just kind of feel tacked on at times, just so you can have a bit. It's fine that when stuff leads to stuff, but I mean, as we'll see going through here, they get in the computer, they get out of the computer. Oh, they have to go back in the computer again. Sonic stays out, but then he gets in. And, if you trimmed the fat a bit, this book would be much shorter and thus not, not appropriate for a junior novel. So I get it. But yeah, when stuff starts you just really notice it. Okay, now Tails is going to say something else silly he learned, and that drags onto 2 pages somehow. But it is what it is.
Also, Joe Sushi says, no, sir, I don't like it. So if you're sick of the Ren and Stimpy references, you're...
Yeah.
That was... I picked up that one and was like, hey, wait, it's like that thing from that other thing. It's but they wouldn't do that, did they? And then I picked up. I missed the first one, saw that, and then by the time Sonic said the log thing, I'm like, oh, Lord.
So this is also the point where they discover, oh, crap, we also need to connect these cables in here or else the thing isn't going to work. And as they're trying to get that figured out, that's when something else approaches them from the distance. It looked like the thing on the path was going to get there before the objects in the sky. Tails hurried his little friends toward the spot in front of the massive eyeball, then turned to see if the approaching yellow shape had reached the metal plateau. It had. Oh. Rolling towards them was a large yellow sphere, larger than the black ball that had chased him earlier, but silent and just as sinister. Tails backed away from it quickly. The ball twisted around, then seemed to lock onto the fox's position. A thin, dark line appeared across its smooth yellow surface, and, as Tails watched, the ball split and divided down it, opening up and turning from a sphere into a huge, mobile mouth. 2 black eyes opened above the mouth, and the whole thing grinned evilly and headed towards Tails, its mouth opening and closing with an obscene electronic gulping sound. The fox had seen enough.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to put that in the overall. I for some reason missed that when I put it on the. I wrote up our little summary here. But yes, way ahead of Sonic Crossworlds, the tie-in that we get now. Here's Pac-Man in Sonic the Hedgehog, kind of basically.
So it's the large black orb that's probably a marble, the giant eyeball, and now Pac-Man that's bigger than all of them.
Yeah. You gotta do a Pac-Man. Every time someone does a bloody, what if video games are real life, they do a Pac-Man. They did
Adam
it in the
Sandler did a movie.
Yeah, Pixels,
And then the guy Hubert, and they had a child.
Yep. The one thing I do think is kind of cool is Tails baiting the giant Pac-Man thing and then having it electrocuted by the two ends of the cable to complete the circuit. That's kind of sick.
I know, completing the electrical circuit with its own body.
It's pretty fucked up, Tails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable, though. Only other note I have for this chapter is it ends on the word blimey. So,
so you felt that on a spiritual level.
Yeah. It was, I should point out, this is not Tails saying it, everyone. This is the narrator just being like...
Yes.
Yeah, it just goes... Oh, with a thud and a pulse, he shot upwards, hurtling out of the top of the eyeball and up to the beam of light, which then projected up into the green sky and beyond. Dead ahead of him, at the end of the beam of light, there was a rectangle of complete nothingness. It looked like a huge hole in the sky, and he was headed straight for it. Blimey!
I think if you do, my limited experience, but now I have some familiarity, if you pretend like the narrator of the book you're reading is like a presenter introducing cartoons from that era of British kids TV, it doesn't not work.
That's something I appreciate about these books, that the narrator of all these has a little bit of personality.
Yeah, it's sometimes like with Sonic in here, sometimes it's a little too self-referential, but no, I do kind of like it. Again, stuff I liked as a kid in books.
I also, we're into chapter 5, Silicon Alley, get it? And
yes,
one bit I do like is that it does give the little animals a little bit more agency here. Sonic is still trapped and having the grounders drill into him while Robotnik laughs, and Porker actually does a sneak attack to land on Robotnik's head to distract him long enough for Sonic to escape.
See Porker making himself useful. He's a good character, actually.
It's space, it's aliens, space invaders, attack from above, watch the skies, get it off me before it sucks out my brain, Robotnik yelled, staggering around the dock chamber.
Doesn't Sonic tell Porker to do a spin dash? I thought that was pretty cute. We've already talked about it. One of the best Sonic animations ever is that OKKO episode where he learns, anybody can spin dash. You just got to practice. Try it. And KO spins out on the floor. It's so cute.
But then Tails saves the day because Tails is the cool hero guy now. At least he thinks he is. And during this time period, whenever that happened, things are going to go badly for Tails. But it's fine for now, because right now he's a cool guy who saved Sonic the Hedgehog. And Sonic has got piercings.
Well, in Sonic's words, it's okay. Spikes are like hair. They'll just grow out in a few weeks. Maybe it'll even make me lighter and more aerodynamic.
Anyway, Robotnik snuck away, and then we cut back to the Green Hill Zone, where they are eating lots of disgusting food, which was the style at the time, or at least in these books.
Honestly, this is where one of my biggest complaints with this book is this feels like it could have been a totally fine, clean break for the book. It could have stopped here, and it's a short but completely open and closed story. There's no reason that it needs to continue, but like you said, they got to fill out a page count.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's there is a reason. He's got to make money on this one and make it a long book. So it's got to keep on going, keep on rolling. We're not even halfway through. Although they have eaten 3 pizzas, 6 hamburgers, 8 assorted chocolate bars, 5 bags of mixed sweets, and 19 cans of various fizzy soft drinks. Well, it was only a snack. Anyway,
Diabetes.
But this is where the infection begins.
Yeah, first off, you see Sonic has fingernails, apparently. That's disgusting. Did he take off
I don't like
his
to think
gloves?
about it.
He just sort of looks at his fingernails, apparently, anyway. But yes, you are right. Page 77 for me is where it begins. It starts with Flicky the Bluebird. he just starts talking in a bad Italian accent. He starts saying, get away from me, you foul fungus people. That's some, yeah. What have you done with the... Now, this is interesting. Yeah, you know what they're doing. They're doing a Mario, because doesn't that guy suck, because he's on the...
Because, 1993, they're a couple years early for this Mario stereotype.
Exactly what I've got down on my notes. It was, at the time... when I heard Mario, I was like, well, he sounds like a Brooklyn plumber, right? He either sounds like Bob Hoskins or the guys from the cartoons, like Lou Albano. But no, they just went like, oh, Italian? Well, he sounds like it is, sir.
I know, that was even before, like, Mario teaches typing. Mario's game club games.
Fishy, fishy, fishy.
Exactly. So good.
Do you have any Koopas?
Meanwhile, Johnny Lightfoot's like, and I must be a brother, and I must be from the biggest city too, and I must wear a stupid old hat and daft-looking blue overalls, and I must have a big bushy mustache, and I must run very slowly and say daft things in a silly fake accent. Get away from us, you nasty booger people, or I will jump on my nice dinosaur pal and get him to eat you all up. Dinosaur, where is you? Come on, guys.
You got him. You really got him.
But then they get sick and they start turning into sprites, basically, is what happens. They lose resolution and they turn into just barely detail. So they're Italian and they're low res, so poor bastard. No, it's
a true stereotype, so.
Yep.
It's
always okay to do the funny Italian voice.
Apparently. Until someone tells me off.
Don't they make fun of me?
Anytime I see that, like, oh no, I'm digitizing, I always think of the sound Neo makes in the Matrix when all of the like liquid mirror goop goes down his throat and he like screams and it devolves into, I think they said they did it on like an old system. I'll put the sound in here, but it's very cool. I always think that's like the perfect, I'm turning into a computer!
This turning them all into video game characters, this virus they picked up. But Tails is like, but aren't we video game characters anyway? And Sonic's like, well, normally, yes, but at the moment we're characters in a book. And I'm like, fucking stop! You can't do that. It's doubling up.
Yeah, you're breaking the logic of your own story. Like, yeah, Sonic drags everybody back to the Wing Fortress and starts, putting everybody back in because they will be, stable as long as they're inside of the computer. And I did catch another reference there where Joe Sushi is picking up Tux. Hey, Mr. Blue Guy, could you give me a hand here? He's my brother, but he's a heavy.
Yeah, this is very good.
While they are shoving everybody in there, Iggy ends up inside there too. So Sonic is now on his own out in the Wing Fortress.
Not a single mouse to help him with the computer.
You better hope it's like a touchpad.
No, it's too early for that. Oh no.
He better be a real good typist.
Well, we've established that he's not, unless he's... Well, I suppose he was using a twig, so it's not that bad. Anyway, that's the end of that chapter, basically.
Yep. Halfway through, Chapter 6, System Crashes.
Oh, we're crashing, all right, because this book is still going. It's fine. It goes back to the Wing Fortress to Sonic to do some investigation, and then there's another grounder there, and he jumps on him, and there's a whole thing he does here.
Yeah. He holds his torch up to the grounder's head, and of course, as the time that this book came out, they love to come up with all these sciencey acronyms that don't mean anything. So he has the binary logistical unprogrammer for friendliness, threatening to turn this grounder from a grump into an animal and bird loving plaything, and.
Oh, I thought this was pretty cute.
Yeah.
That he's threatening. I mean, this is my favorite, like, oh, the villain loves being evil. So it's like, yeah, if I blast you with this, you'll become a real nice Nick and be frolicking along with all my furry friends.
This grounder in specific is absolutely voiced by A.E. Double.
That's really horrible. That's so horrible I can't bear to think about it a moment longer.
That's my impression of Iggy.
I'm gonna have to make some calls after we record this episode.
I want you to take me to the big cheese himself.
The big cheese?
The head honcho, Chief Palooka, number one. Top dog, numero uno, Boss Charlie, the Hammer Man, the Kingfish, the Great Poobah, the Grand Enchilada himself.
Who?
Robotnik, you tweeted it. It goes on and on.
I'd heard of artificial intelligence, but I've never met a robot program for artificial stupidity before.
That's not very nice.
I mean, yeah, that's Grounder.
Yeah. Long before that. Well, not long before, just immediately before that Grounder.
Yeah, just after.
But yes, Sonic was pleased that his plan, because he basically threatens him to take him to Robotnik. He was pleased his plan was going so well, and the robot had fallen completely for his bluff, or rather his bluff, B-L-U-F-F. That's the name of the thing that he
took me a moment to figure it out, yeah.
It's stupid.
The first time I read that, I was like, why'd they capitalize it? Oh!
Yeah.
Also, there's a brief intermission here where Iggy tells tells Tails to just start putting bits of code together to, build something. It all just fits together like building blocks. That's how coding works.
It's vibe coding.
I mean, literally, doesn't he say like, oh yeah, some of the guys weren't very good, but we got the hang of it.
This is the transition point where Tails goes from, being a little bit dim to knowing everything about mechanics and machinery and computers.
There it is.
This is how it happened.
He literally spent time in a computer, and now he became the computer guy. Yeah, it's just a little intermission with those characters before we go back to Sonic, and he's going down in a lift with Grounder, and they're going down, and it's Andy and it's a funny little scene because he says like, "Oh, does Robotnik know I'm coming?" And the Grounder's like,
I haven't told him.
but he turns out he's set a special alarm that let the other badniks know, and he lets them off, and now he has to fight a whole buttload of badniks, which James Wallace went out of his way to describe every single one of them, so he played the games.
I do kind of like this sequence of describing, Sonic like running through this whole badnik horde trying to avoid all their shots. Like, this would be very cool if it was, animated in some capacity.
Yeah. There is a whole action scene as he basically escapes through there. He jumps off the Grounder, bounces through, leaps onto some stairs. At one point, he has
to make his way all the way down to floor 73.
I do like the part where he leaped for the final buzzer and exploded under his feet after a good shot from a neutron hit it amidships. Yeah, commented Sonic.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of what I can only be described as like Charlie Brown scream sounds. There's a lot of uggs and whatnot as the characters start fighting.
Any scream that's got a GH in it, that's so if you imagine that.
From the Miles Edgeworth School of Screaming. Oh! But Sonic eventually makes it down to floor 73, where he finds Robotnik. Sonic is caught in midair because 4 cables have hooked into those holes that Grounder drilled into him earlier.
Ew.
There's some body horror stuff, actually. I mean, no, it's just his spikes, but the way they've described it, I don't know.
Is this a Hellraiser reference?
I was just thinking, oh no.
Sonic gonna look at the screen at the reader and go, Jesus wept.
Stupid.
Yes, Robotnik has Sonic trapped, and he's now set the workshop to explode. And Sonic can't escape, and for some reason Robotnik sings his own version of My Way by Frank Sinatra.
Excuse me, I think you mean the song by Frankie the Rat from Casino Night Zone. Get it? Because of Rat Pack, anyway.
Yeah.
I was taking Jake's advice and was listening to the very robust text-to-speech reader on Internet Archive. And so I figured it was a reference to a Sinatra song, but I couldn't quite parse the cadence as the text-to-speech speech was just reading it as one paragraph.
I decided to read it alongside the song playing in the background, and it totally works.
And now the end is near, and so your fate is now quite certain. You pest, I'll say it clear. You've had your lot. For you it's curtains. I'm fat. My stomach's full. I've won this time. I'm saying bye-bye. But now that I'm off, it's time for chin lie. And you're like, what? But it will make sense soon, dear readers, listeners in this case.
I want to say Chris and I did not rehearse that at all, and that worked out great.
No.
But change a few of those words around, and I would have given my left nut to hear Long John Baldry sing those lyrics.
Yeah.
It took me 9 years to collect the cereal.
Our favorite songs.
Sorry.
Oh boy, gonna make some hedgehog stew today.
Just win the race. Just win the race. Just win the race.
I don't care what it takes. Yeah, I mean, if he hasn't sung a song like that, a song that you like, there's probably a YouTube poop version of it that's perfectly acceptable.
I am here today. I am here.
Yes, Robotnik uses the computer to teleport away, and in Sonic's attempt to go after him, he is held back by Robotnik's latest enforcer, Chin Lai from Road Warrior 2. Can't imagine what that's referencing.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, so another one of the Street Fighters is here. They describe Chin Lai, who has an Oriental accent.
Don't like that.
I mean,
Yeah, not the first instance of that. Also, they use it again later to refer to a Japanese character. I'm like, those are two different countries. That's why we don't shade out anymore. Anyway,
yeah,
it's like
years before Sonic would actually meet Chun-Li in Worlds Unite.
Yes.
You're right.
But around the same time as that Sega Capcom press conference where we got the photograph of Sonic and Chun-Li shaking hands.
But this time you get to see them fight.
Yep.
I felt so stupid that I didn't pick up on Road Warrior 2 until the end, where it gets funnier when it's oh, they're from Road Warrior 2, only Champions Edition.
He just gets out of there because he's not gonna.
It's a whole long fight scene, and he just barely manages to get himself into the computer before Chin Lai manages to spinning bird kick him in the head.
That's true. It's just about to do it, and also there's a time bomb I forgot to mention. That's about to go off. So everything's going off, but Sonic gets out of there in time. So, and that brings us to Chapter 7: Terminate and Stay Resident. So, back in the computer, and Iggy is having no luck whatsoever making the antivirus in there with all those parts around there. And then Tails comes up to him and says, "Hello, John, got a new motor," which is an Alexei Sayle reference to an old song that he did. Alexei Sayle being an alternative comedian of the 80s. That's going to go over everyone's head here, but just in case you wanted to know, that's what that is. I mean, I loved Alexei Sayle back in the day on the Young Ones, but that's got nothing to do with this. But then, that's just how some of these references work in this book, so whatever.
It is, but I do love this reveal that as he and the others have been kind of mucking around with building stuff, Tails has constructed an enormous battle tank out of a data bus with a bunch of commands attached to it.
Sorry, we call it the Robotnik Antivirus and Geek Exterminator, or the Ravage Tank for short. It's dead good, says Tails. So there you go, Tails being a tinkerer already. I mean, he had some help, but it's something to draw in the fans who probably aren't enjoying seeing Tails be like this throughout the whole book.
I mean, that is something I like a lot about, these books, is that they have done a good job of having Tails actually be, like, surprisingly resourceful and helpful in ways that you don't often see in Sonic media from this era, where they're perfectly happy to have him be, the onlooker and not really giving him, moments to shine, even sometimes in his solo material, as is evident from like early STC Tale strips.
Yeah, I do like that. I think it's my favorite portrayal of this kind of Tales. Like even Adventures of Sonic, which is, a different kind of show. But I like that he is a bit dim, but it is more like, I think I've said it every episode we've done in one of these books, it is more like he's Sonic's real little brother who is picking up things that Sonic already knows, but he's got a little kid brain, and it ends up in these books especially being like very cute and charming versus like we already said, they're like, oh boy, I wish Sonic was here. It's like, okay, well, give it a try first. Which, hey, STC Tales also like grew out of that too, so.
But this thing has got, like, debug lasers, delete cannons, some pause stun grenades, a bunch of Windows sleep gas grenades, a couple of OS2 system crashes, some bat files for hand-to-hand stuff, even a reformat bomb. That's going to be important later.
Remember that for later.
But just if you're getting bored of seeing all these characters, Sonic is here, don't worry, he's in the computer now.
Yeah, brother, Robotnik's got us by the short and spikies now.
I laughed.
First he had Sonic by his gauges, and then now.
But yes, Sonic comes back and reveals that, yes, Robotnik does have a cure for the virus program somewhere in the system, but we would never, ever find it.
Until you do Control F.
They didn't know about that back then. But would Iggy? Nah, they do actually try to... They use some computer stuff to locate things, but for now, they're in a tank, because that's what I think of Sonic the Hedgehog and his friends, is riding a military vehicle, an armored military vehicle filled with full artillery.
Yeah, so they are basically heading for the CPU, because it's probably where anything important is, which is what, so... with a goal in mind, the Ravish tank has been ejected on this operation to... I'm sorry.
I couldn't help but picture this thing because of the previous, we just slapped it together as like a giant gummy ship from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, a little bit. This is another action sequence that I actually really like, of just this like Mad Max surge forward towards this destination as they are being pelted from all sides by buzz bombers and eventually the CCCP fortress.
There's a bit where they try to do something funny with the language, but it's a bit like, "Man or the gun!" Sonic shouted excitedly. Sally Acorn and Iggy coughed in unison. Sonic cast a glance back at him. "Sorry, babes. Okay, person or guns," he said. It's like someone trying their best to like adopt like gender neutral language and failing miserably. Especially when during their life it's like, "We're not persons, we're anthropomorphized animals," he corrected.
Yeah. I think that I didn't even catch that one, just because Sonic does that several times where he already did the one with the grounder. It's like, "Oh, take me to who? Oh, the head honcho, the big chief." He does that several times in this book, and I think that just flew over my head. I think he does one with the, oh yeah, it's like, "Oh, keep her going to the right, starboard to the mizzen, etc., etc." They had a page count.
Again, I must emphasize how just this image of Tails driving this massive tank with all of the Mobinis on guns firing at, falling buzz bombers and everything. Just, it conjures such an image in my head that I can't hate this section too much.
They're definitely all making like laser sounds that they put in like G.I. Joe. So you had they're not real guns. Or no, what was the horrible noise that some of the pistols in Transformers G1 make? That's like sounds like a.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's also at least a couple of episodes where they steal the blaster shot sound straight from Star Wars, and you can hear a little bit of Anthony Daniels in the sound effect.
Yeah, they take down the fortress, but it's too big and it's going to land on the ravaged tank, so they've all got...
Watch out, it's going to crash! Ah!
Yarg. Yeah, and then... But then they're all trying to get out there, but there's a small grey rabbit at the bottom of the tank, and Tails...
Help me, Mr. Tails! I've fallen and I can't get up!
So Tails grabs him out, jumps on there, grabs him out, and then yells, "Cling tenaciously to my biceps!" Just to completely undercut his attempted heroism here, but that's kind of funny.
Just 2 references right in a row.
I just like the thought of like Tails being like, "I'm 5 years old. Cling to my biceps."
And I assume that was one of Johnny Lightfoot's many relations that's just flopping about.
Probably. It does kind of give Tails an ego boost that his he's been repeatedly being called a hero by all these people, and Sonic is like, yeah, sure, just trying not to give him a big head, I guess.
Yeah, Tails just really wants Sonic to be like, "Look, I'm a hero, Sonic. I saved a little rabbit, and they call me a hero and everything." And Sonic's like, "Look, Tails, oh buddy, old bean. The first thing a hero learns is that there's a time to tell stories and a time to make plans. Guess which this is." It's like, yeah. I mean, he's right.
Yeah.
But damn. Anyway, they go. The next plan. They want to get out to the CPU, but on the way they have to stop by the games directory. So that's where they go in, and they do that in Chapter 8, Virtually Reality.
This is where the references get turned up to 11.
Boy, do they!
They have basically entered a labyrinth with a bunch of different doors in them, all of which represent different games in this games directory. And they end up splitting up. Sonic and Iggy go one way, Tails and I believe Porker go the other way.
Yeah, it's Porker.
Oh, yeah.
All-important character Porker Lewis.
Yeah, one hero and one smart type off in each group.
Yeah. Right, that's how they split them up.
While Sally stays behind to watch the rest of the Green Hill folk.
I imagine...
Because she's a girl, and she bosses everyone around, as we've established.
I imagine like Robotnik's watching from the outside, and he's like, "Oh no, they found my totally legally acquired stash of video game
Robotnik
backups."
Obviously pirated all of these.
Oh, definitely.
I definitely...
Some of them were shareware, come on!
I definitely backed these up with real hardware.
Look, that one was abandonware. It's fine. Nobody's going to come after me for that one.
I could copy that floppy if I damn well want to.
But that kind of leads to our first... essentially, Iggy and Sonic end up in a game called Froggy? This early? Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. It's
Froggy?
Basically. If you know the game Frogger, and I'm not sure how many people do these days, does it have much of a cultural
It's still
standing?
around. Like, you still see Frogger cabinets in arcades a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking I think they even might have like newer versions of Frogger.
They still make new Froggers available every once in a while. Not as often as they used to, but it's...
I thought one of the original ports was a Sega game.
Yeah, I believe like one of the earlier ports was for Mega Drive.
Well, James Wallace knew about it, apparently, which is why we get this stuff and get lots of funny jokes. And sorry, I'm just thinking about this bit where Sonic's like, "Hey, remember the old joke? Why did Chirps a chicken cross the road? Because he was thick," asked Iggy. And I have to establish, thick means stupid at this time period in the UK. Because he's...
No, there's a K, not another C.
Yeah. But then Sonic also goes, "No, the other reason." Just establishing that Chirps is an idiot. Well, and I suppose we've established that in the book. So not only... does he have interesting bedroom proclivities? He's a dumbass. So that's fun to know about a boy.
Oh no, I'm trying to cross the road, but I'm dummy thick.
And there's the title.
Man, that is a phrase that again would mean the complete opposite of what it does now.
Colonel, this chicken is dummy thick.
Dummy, what are you thick?
Oh god, dummy and thick. Yeah, they're both.
Yeah. Bother.
So Iggy says, "Shouldn't we use the Green Cross code?" And that's a specifically British thing. And it's come up previously on this podcast when we talked in relation to Tufty, the squirrel, who was the mascot for that over here. Just teaching children how to not be mowed down by careless idiot drivers, of which there are many in the UK even now.
And the US.
So, Yeah, I'm glad that's universal. Actually, I'm not.
Yeah.
But Sonic says, I
like how Sonic describes the cars as dimensional transhogrifiers. They turn 3-dimensional hogs like me into 2-dimensional hogs.
Man, that was another stupid one. I was angry at myself for laughing at, but I did.
He's finally cranking his hog in 2D.
No.
Oh, no.
No, thank you.
Well, I'm talking about revving, going fast. Vroom, vroom.
And by it, I mean my penis.
And then they just do a bunch of video game references, let's be honest. You've done some special research for this, right? Haven't you?
Yeah, I knew most of these, or a couple I didn't, so I may or may not have put the list in the Video Game History Foundation Discord server and be like, hey, help me figure out the ones I'm missing.
Nice.
So they did earlier mention Space Intruders, which is, of course, Space Invaders. Let's see. We did Froggy, which is Frogger. There's Golden Hatchet, which is Golden Axe. Super Hang Up, which is Super Hang On. Kid Camel, which is Kid Chameleon.
Kid Chameleon.
Yep.
Thunderbird 4, which is Thunder Force 4, which had just come out at the time. Road Warrior 2, Champions Only, which is, of course, Street Fighter 2 Champions Edition. Spung, which is Pong.
Spung! That's like an onomatopoeia from a comic.
Yeah, that's not sprung, spung.
That's like the sound Spider-Man's web shooters make when they run out of web fluid.
This is the one I wasn't whole sure on. Frankie Zapper, which, obvious Frank Zappa reference, but I feel like it should also be like a double reference to a game, but I have no idea which one.
Yeah, I think Jake said, like the NES Zapper.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Skippy the Porpoise is Echo the Dolphin. Fleming's.
Yeah, Skippy obviously being a reference to Skippy the Bush Kangaroo, and I think there was a dolphin-based show that we had over here that was probably referencing.
I mean, over here we would have gone with like Flipper, but
yeah,
Flipper. Yeah, it's like Flipper and Skippy. So they sort of like met in the middle there and got Skippy the Porpoise. Okay.
Yeah. Fleming's is obviously Lemmings. Kip Killer was an interesting one. I know when Dave and Chris reread this, they were not sure on this either. Sonic specifically says it's supposed to be full of babes in skimpy clothes, which initially had me think Duke Nukem, but that wouldn't be until Duke 3D 3 years later.
Right.
And when I was talking with the Brain Trust about it, we kind of concluded this is actually supposed to be Night Trap, because Kip means, like sleeping or resting.
Oh yeah, in UK language, like taking a kip.
Oh wow, okay.
Night Trap.
in the headlines at the time.
Actually, this would have been just before the headlines, because that all happened in December of that year.
Jeez.
And yeah, all of that. Sorry, we're going to talk about Night Trap one of these days because we have to. It's funny to think all of that was so exaggerated. It was just based on one scene where one character is in a slightly revealing night dress, and they went.
I mean, that was all that crap. The that and what was it? 2 Live Crew and all that, where they're like, yes, we make nasty music. That's the point. Don't buy it for your kids. Fucking idiot.
ESRB is almost all because of Night Trap and Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
And Night Trap is nothing. I'm sorry. I love Night Trap is a dumb, stupid game that's barely a game, and it's the things that they actually went out of their way to try and make that game less provocative and scary because they had to, because Hasbro originally they were making it for Hasbro or something, or for one of those companies. You can't have this, you can't make them actual vampires. You've got to have these special drill things that they put into the neck. And okay, and yet they still ended up being the game that killed games in terms of censorship and all that sort of stuff. It's stupid. Night Trap.
Very silly.
Double Crutch is Double Clutch. Zoom Patrol is Moon Patrol. And finally, Super Gimbo Land, which I have no idea what that one could be.
The Gianna Sisters.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Sonic looked at the mouse with a pained expression on his face. If I wanted something long and boring, he said, I'd watch the Mobius Vision Song Contest.
Ooh, got him!
Oh, snap.
Got him!
I mean, if you ever tried sitting through one of those, they're not good. Not just because the UK or the England always gets, like, nil pois from everyone, because we suck.
No, that was one of those. I mean, I get it. It's like certain genres of reality television, but I do remember once. I mean, I think it was once social media. It's like, oh, yeah, you learn what Eurovision is. And I remember being like, yeah, that ain't for me.
So this does all cap off with Sonic and Iggy finding a door to Planet Mobius. I don't know. Is that anything like Sergeant Planet? Oh, hang on. Oh, right. That's got to be Captain Planet was airing by this point.
Captain
It
Planet.
had to have been. I know
he's a
it was on
planet.
telly over here. I remember. Yep, Captain Planet. He is a planet.
Protect the environment or I'll fucking kill you. One of the only funny Robot Chicken skits. Green Hill Zone. Looking more like Green Hill Zone.
So I deliberately laid out there just to make your joke seem worse, Jeremy.
Well, welcome to the true meta era when Sonic goes into Sonic 1.
Back to Green Hill Zone again. But yes. And it is specifically Sonic 1, we should point out, because later on they mentioned it's just, what zones are you talking? There's only 6 zones on Planet Mobius.
And this is where we get our bit about, Iggy scratched her nose thinking, it's the game version of You and Your Adventures, which someone might want to play, I suppose. If only she knew, eh, readers? Sonic winked conspiratorially.
Fine, whatever, Sonic.
But yes, this is where Sonic meets the digital version of himself. But I like how they kind of contextualize it as, this is Robotnik creating a testing ground for his potential creations to use against Sonic.
Oh, like in the IDW comics, Dave. I mean, funny how we've gone full. That's funny. Yeah, that's interesting. And also, he gives the Sonic an existential crisis by being like, "No, you don't exist, mate. You're just a computer program." Imagine that. Your doppelganger comes and says, "Sorry, you're not real." Oh, wait a minute. I guess my hands don't. Oh no. You just stare off at your hands and realize it's fucked up, man.
This happened to me in a D&D campaign once.
That is the best part where you think it's going to be like, no, I'm the real one. And he's like, no, look, dude, you're all pixelated. And he's just, I've never had a frame of reference outside of this, so you must be correct.
You literally fight the boss from Green Hill Zone, and Robotnik's like, "Oh, this is getting out of hand. Now there's 2 of them."
There's 2 of them.
So, yeah, and they bust open the prison egg like in the games, but this time there's Tails and Porker in there, and it's whatever. They got kidnapped because they sucked apparently.
They got kidnapped earlier by the Slight Witch.
There's I forget where exactly it is in this chapter, but there's a line in here. we were talking earlier about like how descriptive the book can be and how sometimes it needs to pull back, but this line, I think it needed a little something because it just says spinning like a really spinning thing.
Sorry, that's such a British ass joke though. Spinning like a spinning thing. I don't know. That's funny for me.
It's
I don't
funny,
know why.
but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like they just put that in there as a placeholder, and they're like, "Nah, just keep it."
It was like 11:30 at night, and he was tired of writing. Just put it spinning thing.
And Mark Gascoigne looked over that and said, "Spinning thing. Good joke there, James." Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, go for it. Anyway, they leave the game.
Yep, they are headed for the CPU. Now running program Mobius Invasion 3.
Yep, that's right. And that brings us to Chapter 9, Operating Systems. I almost said 11 there. I feel like we've been at this for a while, so that's probably why my brain filled that in. This is where they bring back the whole Porker saying, Sales just says, "You're done tootin', Sonic." And Porker's like, "Oh, you enjoyed that dictionary of out-of-date slang I lent you then? You betcha." Tails said happily, "You ain't just whistling Dixie, my policeman pal." Oops, I think I got that one backwards. Get it? Because Porker's a gay cab. Gay cab, including Porker Lewis.
Yeah, Tails has been using more out-of-date slang this whole time, but I just refuse to acknowledge it. They're describing this strange place with, in front Iggy joined the queue behind something that looked like a Christmas tree with a permed hairdo and wheels. In front of that was a large fish that looked like it was made of blancmange, and in front of that was a multi-sided object that Tails recognized from when he first arrived in the computer. As they waited, other strange shapes joined the queue behind them. A clockwork motorbike, a jet-propelled paintbrush, a 2-meter pizza with sliced credit cards and broken china on it. Tails was so hungry that his stomach rumbled out loud for almost a second after he realized what the topping was, and then he suddenly lost his appetite. I'm imagining that they are all... Yeah. You are not Michelangelo. I'm imagining they're all lined up to basically see, it describes it, a large computer monitor sitting on a tall white pedestal with a big blue smiley face on it. I'm just imagining it's a big happy version of the MCP from Tron. I have to imagine that these are just, let's create some weird, unusual things that would be inside a computer. Not any specific references this time.
No, I was trying to pass it, but I was like, no, they're just making
these are just things that James Wallace drew in paint once.
Yeah, that's a computer connection.
Oh, okay. I was trying to think of the name of the artist who made the famous painting of the melting clocks, Salvador Dali. Yeah. So maybe something like that with the whole clockwork motorbike and all just the weird stuff.
No, it's just lol random.
Yeah.
Predicting the next era of computers and the internet. So
yeah.
lol random XD. They try to queue up to get some information, and then the monitor's so, you mentioned the name of the grand programmer. The greater programmer, or whatever it was, and he's the great programmer, and he's just oh, well, follow me, I'll take you straight to the thing, and they take him to the thing, and they talk to a bit, which is this little tiny computer thing, because everything's made of bits on the computers. They can only hold 1 bit of information at a time, and and 8 bits make a byte and a half, and a half a byte is called a nibble with a Y. I thought is that true? That's great.
That's real.
That's so stupid.
One of the few things I remember from my computer science degree.
I should have
said half a byte is a nibble.
That's so good. And that's the kind of language that brings us the WYSIWYG, really. So
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I can see why James Wallace is into this stuff. It makes for some funny bits of dialogue.
Back when computer programmers were just goofy dorks and not Nazis.
Yeah.
Good times.
But basically, they finally talk to a bit, and Iggy has the one who has to handle it, because you've got to bring the mouse up there to handle the information. It's we need information. Information, it buzzed back. On a file location. File location. Sorry, why am I doing AE double again? on virus eradication. Eradication. Anyone tell you make a great backing singer, Big Baby? Walker interrupted. And that crashes the system, because you can't give him that much information at once.
Yep.
So Sonic and Tails are just screw this, we'll just dive right into the CPU itself to get the information ourselves, and and it's a horrible mistake, because the cyber levels on Shadow the Hedgehog, they're just
I was going to say, Sonic and Tails jumping into cyberspace, that seems like a stretch.
They do call it cyberspace, that's fun.
They have jumped headfirst into cyberspace. They plunged onwards and inwards through a network of luminescent dots, lines of lights in unthinkable complexity ranged in the non-space of the CPU. Constellations and clusters of data, like the grid of a city at night, receded away to infinity in all directions around them. Blasts of hypercolor, jets and flashes of brightness circled and blazed around them, each following its own little mission within the brain of the processor chip. The entire planet-spanning computer system was laid out in miniature before them, represented in lights and colors that played havoc with their senses. There was no up or down, or any need for one. There was only data, pure electronic information, formed into shapes of pulsating solid colors, with gold tracks and traces threaded between them like a metal spider's web. It was like nothing at all that either of them had ever experienced before. Well, except for that movie they saw the other week.
God, James Wallace was writing a lovely bit of prose there, and Mark Gascoigne was like, I mean, yeah, it's all Tron, really. But yeah, for a moment that just reminded me of some of the prose in Fourth Dimension. That reminds you that, oh yeah, when you let him cook, he can do some pretty fun stuff, but yeah, they're just in a computer now. No, they're more in a computer than they were before. And, sorry, Sonic says that they're looking for the log, and some kind of program log, dude. What you mean it's a log? It's big, it's heavy, it's wood, says Tails. Yeah, so these carry on, I'm afraid.
Yeah, like Sonic immediately acknowledged that, yeah, I just hope they don't use this for the special stage in the next game. We wouldn't have a chance.
Sorry, that's very good.
And it just keeps going with the references. It's like being on a roller coaster without any track, but as for the visuals, it's like something that weird monkey pal of yours, William Gibbon, might come up with. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, agreed Sonic. Or his feathered friend, Brucey Starling.
For those who don't know, William Gibson and Bruce Sterling, science fiction authors. In fact, one of them created cyberpunk, basically. It's all very silly.
Yes, this is where we get introduced to one more new character. Something hurtled towards them, corkscrewing along the same golden thread, flashing with urgent lights. It was going to hit them. Tails closed his eyes. Sonic's gaze darted around him. Just ahead of them, another gold thread passed just above their one. Or was it below? It didn't matter. He grabbed Tails by the scruff of his furry neck, and just as the oncoming light was about to hit them, he leaped across open space towards the other cord, grabbed for it with his spare hand, and missed! Faint lights had passed them, none solid enough to grasp hold of. They seemed to be floating or falling away from the center of the electronic mayhem, toward the edges where there was less activity and almost nothing to grab. Something flickered and shimmered around them, a digital mist that coalesced and solidified in waves of shifting space. Something that might have been a mouth wavered in front of them with an eerie grin on its insubstantial lips. And we meet our last major character, Psyche, the ghost in the machine.
Ooh. Give me kind of Omniviewer from STC vibes a little bit, but like more less tangible, I guess. It's a cool concept. Deep within the CPU, there's this life form that exists that sort of represents everything that's been deleted and like sent away. I like this. It's all right. But it's thanks to Psyche that they're basically. Psyche is there, she's cool, and she helps them find the thing that they need to look for. That's all you really need to know about this character.
Yeah, she exists because she can only like exist in that slim margin when the computer is, shutting down and rebooting or whatever. Right.
All of this basically culminates with them getting back on track and going to a giant monolith shaped just like Robotnik, because of course it would be. It would look just like him. And they're I guess, predicting the events of Panic Puppet Act 2 and Sonic 3D Blast. They get sucked right up his nostril.
Yep.
They find the program log, and then they find the antivirus, but it's in a big blob of black ice. And Sonic takes off his shoes to solve this problem, because that's how you deal with ice. Because remember, he's got the friction-reducing trainers, but if he doesn't have the sneakers on, he can make a lot of heat and melt the ice. So he takes off his shoes and uses his feet to make a hole in it. So that's an image for all of you if you're into that kind of thing. I feel like everyone's tired at this point.
Yes, Sonic and Tails find the antivirus and get sent out by Psyche. They end up back at the output device with all the little Mobinis waiting for them, and they gradually make their way out with.
Well, it's just the four. It's the four of them to begin with that go out on their own. So it's like Iggy, Sonic, Tails, Porker. Tails destroys a bit dude to get his little device inside him. I'm like, Tails, what the f***? Just bonks him on.
Yeah, it's a funny bit. Hi, he said, what kind of program are you? I'm an accountancy and bookkeeping routine, responded the crystal program in a voice like chiming bells. Tails grinned. Bet that's boring, he said. How would you like to become a bit instead? That sounds interesting, the crystal answered. But how is that possible? Hold still and close your eyes, Tails said, and brought his fist down on top of the program's head with a thump. It shattered into thousands of tiny pieces which tinkled down across the metal ground. There you go, Tails grinned. You're lots of bits now.
Jeez.
But then they're out of the computer in the end, and they've got the antivirus, and it's literally like an injection gun. So they just stab each other. Ow.
That brings us into Chapter 10, Garbage In, Garbage Out. Bringing everybody out one at a time, just in sequence, inoculating them. The machine clunked again, a squirrel fell out of the slot. Again, Sonic welcomed it back to reality and gave it a shot in the arm. Clunk, a bluebird. Welcome back, shot in the wing. Ow! Clunk, a walrus. Welcome back, dude. Shot in the flipper. Ow! Clunk, a chicken. Welcome back. The process continued on, one by one.
Not only do animals pop out, but also... Oh, another animal, except for it's a frog! Wait a minute, we don't have frogs in the Green Hill Zone. We killed them all.
You drove them out.
This is Froggy... escaping out of the game, but as they try to put him back, Standing in front of the output device were 4 figures. All of them were human. All of them were tall and powerfully built, and all 4 had the grainy, gritty look of computer-created characters. Sonic recognized one of them, a girl wearing a blue dress with brown leggings and a white headdress. James Wallace is very descriptive. In addition to Chin Lai, we have what are very clearly meant to be Zangief, E Honda, and Bison.
/ dictator, if you want to be like that.
Yeah, / dictator.
Chin Lai calls him Hedgehog-san, and I'm like, well, she's Chinese, but I guess that's what the people knew that honorific a lot more because of Karate Kid and stuff like that back then, so whatever. It's fine, I guess.
Yeah, it even says in a karate stance.
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
I know we're getting onto where the not quote unquote Road Warrior 2 characters show up, but I just realized we breezed over a shocking piece of lore here, in that Porker Lewis apparently has a girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? Fangu in shambles at the idea that he has a relationship. Yeah, sorry. After Porker's girlfriend, Jilly the Pig, had emerged from the output device, he went off as well. So I feel like Jilly the Pig feels like a reference that I'm completely missing, but
yeah,
it sounds like it probably is one. But yeah, good for Porker.
They, even go in. The third of the fighters wore a red and black uniform with a peaked cap and heavy gauntlets. Under the brim of his cap, his face was sheer sneering evil. Of the 4, he looked the toughest, as if he could eat Sonic for breakfast and still have room for Tails as a mid-morning snack.
Almost like he was some kind of final boss to the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is very much Game Bison and not Raul Julia Bison, because we're still a year early.
Yeah, and it's like James Wallace is one of the games James Wallace got for his Mega Drive that he got. So he's just like, oh yeah, I like this one. I'll write all about these characters. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's just like his Thing. Remember Thing from Thing? But before we started doing that all the time.
And they have a full-on fight scene with Sonic having to fight all 4 of them at once. Tails briefly trying to, help out, but we have a point where Iggy, holds up the handset from the fortress that they had taken down. Hold it right there! Iggy snarls squeakily, waving the handset menacingly at the 4 approaching figures. This is a security level 10 handset, one of the most powerful handsets in the computer. I can use it to deactivate you guys or delete you completely. Now, in the excitement, I kind of lost count on how many charges we used up inside there. Iggy gave Sonic and Tails a quick wink. So, the question you have to ask yourselves is this. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, cyberpunks?
Yeah.
It does not even faze them. Not Bison kicks it out of her hands, and it gets caught by the long, stretchy arm of Dahlgren from Road Warrior 2.
Yeah,
Can't imagine who that is. Yeah, no, not Dalsim, not Vega, and not Sagat enter the fray. Not Claw, excuse me.
Yeah.
I have to correct myself.
It's Dahlgren, and he has an exotic accent. That's how they describe it.
Exotic and Oriental, the 2 accents you can have.
He grinned with a smile as cold as those in the skulls around his neck.
Kind of making Dalsim a villain here. I never really... Okay, well, I suppose at this point we didn't really have as much lore on these characters as we do now, where we recognize that Dalsim is a nice bloke. Then again, they're all being controlled at this point. It's fine. Chun-Li's trying to kill a hedgehog. It's whatever.
And Robotnik enters to order them to finish them. Haha, so Sonic and Tails and your little white what's-your-name too. You managed to get out of my machine code snares. I congratulate you on your cleverness. Unfortunately for you, haha, you weren't clever enough to see that once I had my network of output devices working, my program protagonist would be able to track you down and delete you, whether you were inside the chips or out. Haha, chips! You've had them, Sonic! And Sonic's like, you didn't program these characters, you nicked them from a video game. Robotnik was the first AI creator.
I love how a lot of Robotnik's monologues almost sound like Mojo Jojo monologues.
Yeah, the way the way it's read there.
Mojo Jojo.
And he's also, this is also where he introduces, I believe, he calls them his computer nicks. And he says he's even going to steal your Ravage tank design to help me do it. And he ejects the Ravage tank from the computer, but surprise, it is controlled by Sonic 2. Sonic 2. No, Virtual Sonic is back in control of the tank, and he has brought friends. Not Ryu, not Ken, not Blanca, not Guile, and not Balrog.
Oh, that's right.
Not Boxer, excuse me.
I didn't even
myself.
notice Balrog / Boxer was here. I noticed Guile when they mentioned someone with a flat top, but
Well, not Balrog was the only one left.
That's right. They mentioned this.
Yeah, they don't mention him by name. They mention, red Guy, white Guy, green guy, and then 2 moving too fast to be seen.
And this is before the new challenges, so it was just those ones. Yeah.
Well, this is Championship Edition, which had the bosses playable, I believe.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. No, I'm just thinking about the 4 additional. I'm thinking like I was like, oh, does that count Cammy and T-Hawk? But no, that's prior to them.
Yeah, this is before that. That would not be until late '94, I believe.
Which is very interesting to all the Sonic fans, by the way. Oh, come on, you've played a Street Fighter, surely one of you has.
You've read Worlds Unite.
Presumably.
Sonic fans can't read.
Well, that's why we're reading this book for them. So
that's why I had Internet Archive read the book for
me. Big all-out brawl happens between the 2 sides with roughly half the roster on each side taking each other on. The Ravage tank in the middle. Robotnik's also there, and Robotnik prepares to drop that reformat bomb from earlier onto our heroes. That ultimately manages to take out most of them, and Computer Sonic barely manages to avoid it by jumping back into the computer.
And it just disintegrates all of the computery people, and all the normal people are just like, oh, that was weird, apparently.
But this is also where Robotnik starts introducing his new computer badniks, which can, reconstitute themselves after being destroyed. And apparently in this version of the story, Robotnik's real backstory is that he was always like this because he never got invited to parties, even before the accident.
Oh, deep lore of poor incel Kintable. Sorry, this is a legitimate threat, and the badniks, when they get destroyed, they reform to make an even bigger one. It's fine, but I feel like this scene just goes on, and they're like, and then this happens, but then they fight back, and then this happens, and then they fight back.
It's like Sonic Prime.
Just a lot.
And then they form into this giant, and then they form. Oh God, you're right. But yeah, then they form into this giant scorpion badnik called the Scipio.
Gesundheit.
Is it Scipio? Scipio? Oh, I suppose I think Scipio because it's like a scorpion, but Scipio? Is that how it would be pronounced?
Maybe.
Scipio, listening audience, in case you want to try and pass that for yourself.
Yeah, and yes, it's got this huge cannon. It's advancing on them. It moves forward 1 pace and stopped. Something started ticking very fast inside it. Huh? The insane inventor exclaimed, hammering the buttons on his black box with a pudgy finger. With a sharp bang, it exploded in his hand, covering his face and front with black soot and burn marks. Blankety blank, he swore. Oh, bleep, 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 bleep.
Blankety blank is a funny fake swear, and also presumably a reference to the UK's version of Match Game.
I can imagine Sonic covering Tails' ears at that moment. I was like, oh my.
But yes, Sonic 2, when he retreats to the computer, got a hold of Psyche to destroy all of the remaining Robotnik code inside the computer and retake the network.
It's great.
Allowing them to destroy the Scipio.
Yeah, before he reveals that happens, I think, and then Sonic 2 shows up. He's like, and I met someone who says she's a friend of yours near. A friend? Tails pondered dimly. Who?
Dimly.
Come on, poor Tails.
He's done so much good stuff, and he's still getting bashed on.
Yeah.
Cat and strays and whatnot.
But yeah, they've basically just been tearing his crap code up inside the machine. So everything just falls to pieces. Thoroughly, completely embarrassed and humiliated as everything blows apart, including his Ergomatic.
The straining jets ignite and blast him away toward the horizon, but he must have strapped it on backwards because he was flying feet first. The friends watch the reflection of the sunlight off his shiny bald patch disappearing into the distance.
I'm reading they specifically describe him as the fat controller hanging in midair, and I'm like, Thomas the Tank Engine-ish, maybe. Also, just mentioning, sorry, the friends watch a reflection of the sunlight shining off his shiny bald patch. It's not really a bald patch if you're completely bald at that point. I think
it's the whole thing.
It's just bald patch is funny, really. It's funnier than just saying he's bald. Which is an insult, apparently. I'm sorry, bald people out there. That's just what the 90s decided.
So Sonic appoints Psyche and Computer Sonic as the reboot guardians of the computer from here on, and Iggy as the liaison of the computer world and the meat space. And we get to our epilogue chapter, Quit.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're all ready to do that at this point. It's pizza time. That's it. They
Pizza
Sonic
time.
and Tails have a pizza. They spend a lot of time, and Tails finally dropped this shit slang. So now he starts talking in a different outdated slang of the 90s, saying stuff like megatastic, copacetic, even. And Sonic's like, "That's cool, actually, because I'm also from the 90s." And then there's a Game Gear. Sorry, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm so detached at this point because the book just kind of end here.
I mean, the whole reason that he brings up the Game Gear, but he's like, Robotnik's virus, affected every computer monitor on Mobius. And then Tails is like, oh, but what about my Game Gear? It's a type of computer, right? And he's like, oh, only one way to find out, little buddy. And he plugs in this Street Fighter 2 game, which was that on Game Gear?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I didn't think so. And he's like, oh, the only way to find out
2 in his world, so maybe it was.
Is boot up the game and see if it's all evil and messed up. And then it's fine. And they enjoy a nice afternoon with their pizza and Game Gear.
I guess Capcom did make a Game Gear port of the game in this version.
Bit of a struggle near the end there, actually. We're not exactly thrilled by every piece of dialogue and every new piece of action like maybe we were during the best bits of Fourth Dimension.
Like I said when we started this, I think there's an interesting premise, and it's clear that there's a lot of affection for technology and video games and stuff on the part of the writer, but this book it drags at a lot of points, and it just feels very kind of unfocused. And I don't know whether that was a consequence of the original narrative as it was being written, or the additions by the editor for humor, or some combination thereof. That's actually where I'm leaning. But I think that coming off of just a really unambiguously high point with Fourth Dimension, this one does not quite measure up, which is disappointing because again, I would have loved to see this in maybe a little bit easier to read format, or even just I could have seen this easily being an Adventures of Sonic episode in some capacity.
Yep. I absolutely think you could fit the biggest concepts of this book into a 22-minute short pretty easily. Because it does, like I said, it's not bad. A lot of this stuff, again, I'm probably really killed with the proper demographic back in the day, all the references. It does just seem to loop-de-loop back around it on itself, like I've already said, just to keep it going, where you probably could have cut one of the long running gags and have still been fine and kept the.
I wish you would cut a few of the long running gags.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't feel like I want to talk about this one nearly as much as I did Fourth Dimension, and that's sad because we love that one. It's not bad.
I think we hit most of the really good moments as we came across them. I do want to say I think Iggy's fine. Iggy is. Yeah. There wasn't a ton to talk about, but they do keep her around for she doesn't really feel like she's in the way. In the beginning, they kind of drag on introducing her until she finally says no, I'm good with computer. I can help. And then it's oh, okay, well, she's the little techspert. And I think there's a good balance of, she's a little scared of a lot of the danger they get in, but Sonic needs her. And, again, stuff they could have just done with Tails if they wanted to. But no, I think Iggy justifies her presence. And she's neat. She's cool.
It's kind of implied she's not just a fan of Tails, she seems to have a crush on him, and that's great.
Yeah.
And imagining a small mouse being in love with a fox is very funny to me. I think the thing about the book is, what do we prefer? And I mentioned this before we got started recording, but what do we prefer for our book lengthening techniques? Do we prefer this style of dragging everything out and looping it around, as Jeremy mentioned? Or do we prefer the Robotnik's laboratory style of, and now we go over to meet some rats, and here's the roaming Romans, and we waste a chapter on that?
Boy.
This is more of a focused narrative, but it just takes its sweet time.
Yeah.
If I have to pick between the two, I'm choosing a paper shredder.
Gun to my head, I think this is a better story than Robotnik's Lab, but I'm not saying its page lengthening techniques are much better.
No.
I have to wonder how much of this is just, our own elevated expectations after reading Fourth Dimension. Like this, if this was the second book we read instead of the third, I think we might be more keen on it because we're coming, from Robotnik's Lab to this before getting to Fourth Dimension. So it feels like a more natural escalation in terms of quality. Because I do think this is a better book than Robotnik's Lab, but coming off of the one that we actually thought was legitimately good fiction and not just a good Sonic story, this does not measure up.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because, again, I like the premise.
I would definitely choose this one over Robotnik's Laboratory just because I still remember going from chapter 2 to chapter 3 and wait, Romans? What am I reading? What? Did I miss something? At least this has, like we said, a cohesive narrative where, even though you're jumping between two different viewpoints, you can still pretty much follow it. And just, I wish it was a little shorter. Occam's razor and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because literally on the outline here, my final thought is, should it have been a lot shorter? And in brackets,
yes.
I put yes. That's the foregone conclusion. But I guess I'll say it's all right. I just took my time with this one because I wasn't as interested. Oh well. We're 3 books in, though. We only got one more of these to go.
Yeah, there's only one more Martin Adams novel left.
Yeah.
And then we get into all the other novels, like all the Michael Teitelbaums and whatnot.
Oh, that's right. But in the future, we will finally have to raid Castle Robotnik, the second Carl Sargent book of the series, and I have read that one. I'll say it's probably more interesting than Robotnik's Laboratory, but I'll see how well it feels now in 2025. 2020, well, whenever we get to it. Next year, probably.
Whenever this comes out.
We need to finish this.
We're definitely not doing it this year.
No, we're not this year. You're right.
2032.
2032 when we finally get around to it. Yeah, that's it for Silicon Warriors. Thank you for joining us. If you want to find us all across the internet, you can find us there. You can find this podcast and everything related to it on Sonic F Series. And you can find me at Faulero. That's Faulero.
Love that jingle that I have not heard in quite a while.
God, you're right.
Man, it's been a month. You can find me on the socials at Rock the Jake, and you can find me on twitch.tv as Mr. Rock the Jake.
You can find me in a bunch of different places at Cyberlink420.
And you can find me on Blue Sky at jeremybaker.actor and around the rest of the internet as Game Buddy, sometimes with a 123.
And special thanks as always to Amy Waters for the use of our theme song from the album Gotta Go Slow. You can check out more of her work on YouTube and Bandcamp. You can also find her on the socials at Amy Waters Music. And if it's one of those Bandcamp Fridays, give her more money, but give her money anyway. That's the way it goes on this podcast. Give her money. And remember, subscribe, review, share if you're into that. If you like this stuff, just tell other people that we're talking about the Martin Adams books. I'm sure there's a huge demand to hear about those in the current year. But if you want to escape...
Yeah, tell them we're talking about Street Fighter on this one.
Hey, we're talking about Street Fighter on this... Oh, I've got to have some fun with it.
Hey, Street Fighter, keep fighting, make a future brighter.
But next time on The Hill is Always Greener, well, we couldn't stop ourselves. It's time to finally go back to Sonic Adventure like we always do, but with a twist. You see, we decided... we've saw all those times that poor, tired Takashi Iizuka was like, stop telling us to make Sonic Adventure. We don't want to. We want to make a new game. And we're like, we understand. But if you did, this is how we do it. And that's that's basically the concept for our next episode. If we wanted to have a remake of Sonic Adventure, which will never happen, if it was up to us, oh god, sorry Sega, what would it be? But as in an episode that we are essentially calling Sonic Adventure Kiwami. And if you're
Kiwami means extreme.
Extreme. Sonic Extreme. Uh-oh, well, we can tell this one's never going to come out. That's fine. But join us next time as we get our real pie-in-the-sky ideas of, if we brought back Sonic Adventure like the world wants, this is how we do it. But until then, I've been Falero.
I'm Rot the Jake.
I'm Cyberlink.
And I'm Game Buddy. And buy me Sega Game Gear or go to hell!
My favorite Sonic quote.
Gemma quote. This has been The Hill is Always Greener, and we'll see you on the other side of cyberspace. Time to log off.
Whoa. Flowing through time, flowing through time.
Oh yeah, I don't have a gallbladder.